So, hi everyone. Today I have a very special guest by the name of Daniel Oba. He is the founder of Chat2cars, which is an innovative app that is revolutionizing the way road users communicate with each other. So, with this app, users can chat or call other drivers by using the car number plates, making it easier to report any wrongdoing or any emergency situations on the road. Additionally, the app comes with roadside assistance and armed response, ensuring that you always have help in case of emergency. So, Chat2Cars also boosts a top of the line car tracking system and even allows car dealers to list and sell cars on the platform to generate funds to keep the app free for everyone. So, join us today as we chat to Daniel Oba, who's going to take us through Chat2Cars, and how it's revolutionizing the driving experience. How are you, Daniel?
Very well. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's truly an honor. You know.
Yes, I'm really fascinated about Chat2Cars, but before we hop into that, I always try to start my interviews by trying to learn more about the person I'm speaking to. So, who's Daniel? Give us a bit about your background. Before Chat2Cars.
All right. So Daniel Oba is an entrepreneur, but before the entrepreneur part, in 2003, I came into USA to study. After I lost my parents, and then in the process, went to UJ, studied electrical electronics, became a consultant, and then found myself in the car industry. Now, I know the question will be, how do you migrate from electrical electronics to, car dealership? I, for one, as at that moment, it didn't make sense to me. But in the process, I realized that there's a niche in the market. And bringing in the skill and the educational background into the car dealership aspect, I realized there's a loophole. The loophole is that a lot of because I was in the car dealership aspect of things, a lot of clients are not interested in insurance. Even when they are interested, they're not convinced as to why do I need to have an insurance. So the niche became is how do we then find a balance between being able to meet people's need on the go and at the same time not charging them an arm and a leg. And that's where Chat2cars decided to then come into play to say, okay, we will find a solution to this. And it started as a car listing platform where people can just come and buy a car. So when you Google Chat2cars most of the time, what comes out is car listing. And we actually changed that narrative. That's not who we are. We are a tech company that provides solutions for all car-related solutions.
Okay. That's awesome, but I'm still stuck on your journey at school. So you said you studied electrical engineering. So how was that journey for you? Were you an A student back at school? Was it easy? How was that journey for you?
To be honest with you, I struggled. You have those flames.
Yeah.
But one thing for sure that I'll be honest is from the one I knew that, in this society, nobody will employ you. And I'm speaking as an international student while at varsity. I knew from day one that it's either I find a job for myself or I find a job for myself. And that's the honest truth. No matter how brilliant you are, no matter how educated, talented, the possibilities are there, but it is much better if you create an opportunity for yourself. No one can hire or fire you. You be your own decision maker. And if it works out, there's very slim possibility. If it works out, then in that process, you would have then benefited a lot from it. If it doesn't, you would have gained experience. So I was not a student. My classmates will tell you. I hope they're not listening.
No, that's great to hear. And would you say that you've always been entrepreneurial? What have been some of the late indications or early indications that you were like entrepreneurial in spirit, or was Chat2cars your first sort of startup?
Okay, so no, as a student,
Mm,
I had to find a way to survive. And so as a
mm,
result, at some point, we were fixing fellow classmates' computer because I have a little bit of skills in terms of computer. In terms of,
okay.
back in the days where we used to carry CDs to format laptops,
Yes.
um, install softwares and all of those, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, entrepreneurial skill came a long time ago.
Mm,
You as a student, especially you need to find a way. So from
mm,
formatting laptops to installing softwares for friends to the point where you get your first call out to say, okay, come do networking for us. We're like, wow, there's money
wow.
in
Okay.
computer.
Yeah.
From there, you start realizing, oh, okay, actually, I can actually survive on this.
Mm.
But the prayer became that I hope they keep calling me because the day
Yeah.
they call me, and that's where the entrepreneurial excitement and skill came in from. But I, for one, personally speaking, have always
Mm,
been a strong believer in making things happen.
mm,
Um, I don't believe in um, folding my hands and watch things happen. I
yeah.
want on the way. Let's find a way. Let's not leave things hanging. Let's not expect it from somebody else. Let's find a way. If we fail, we fail,
Mm,
and know that. And in the journey of Chat2cars or getting to where we are now, we have failed. I will tell you all about it as we proceed. But
yeah.
yo, if I had known that the journey was going to be this long and this hectic with the kind
Mm,
of experience acquired, I
mm,
don't think I would have embarked on this journey. If I had
yeah.
known, I had seen the hurdles, the nightmares,
Mm,
the financial implication. Yes, we did costing, we did plan, we did.
mm.
I just did not know that they were unforeseen, but they were more unforeseen problems than. But
Yeah, but let's
also,
let let's chat about that then. Chat2cars. So how did that concept come about? I know you said if I Google Chat2cars now, it seems like you guys are a platform for yeah. So you're a tech company. I don't know if there was a pivot there, but tell me, from inception, how did the concept come about? What problem were you trying to solve, for it to be what it is today?
okay, so if you look at the car industry, there are only 10 major, there's no competition there. And this is me being very honest as a black child.
Yeah.
There's no competition in the car listing industry. And they are not even up to 10.
Mm,
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names of the companies, but the car listing company is very, very um, small.
mm,
And when I say small, I'm emphasizing on the car listing. So
mm,
the number of companies that are into car listing are very, very small. So, and in that space, there's no black child playing in that space at all.
mm,
Not one. Um, so and I have an idea how much these people were making because I was in the car, like I mentioned before, I was in the car industry.
yeah.
So, for example, one of the most leading car listing companies charges about minimum of 7,500 rand for listing, and they have over 2,000 dealerships on their platform per
Mm.
month. Do the math.
So let me ask you this: for somebody who might not understand what you mean by listing, how would you explain it? Um,
Okay, so car listing is a platform where people go to view cars. So
mm,
before you buy a car, you go online to
mm,
view the car you want to buy. So that's what car listing basically is. It's where different dealership advertise their cars to view.
mm. Okay, and you said there's a scarcity of the black child playing in that space.
Extremely,
Yeah.
exactly, extremely scarce. So it's a huge market that a lot of people have not really tapped into. Yes, there's a lot of websites. There's difference between me having a website as a dealership and being able to provide a car listing platform that can compete in terms of marketing with every other platform that is in the market.
Okay. So yes, there's definitely there's definitely a gap there. How is Chat2cars actually, filling that void?
All right. So when then the idea of Chat2cars came, like
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I've always from day one, from back before varsity, because I did my high school here. Before varsity, I always thought of how can I call someone using their car number plate? So initially we had designed it, they did a business plan around it. That's before I got into varsity while I was in high school, me and a friend of mine.
Okay.
And we had designed it, we had said, no, this thing is achievable. But unfortunately, as at that moment, we didn't have the resources. In fact, at that point in time, we had called it call my plate number.
Okay.
And we even went as much as doing research to ask people, say, listen, how will you feel if I call you using your car number plate? And they're like, yeah, that would be very brilliant. But then we had no knowledge on tech, we had no knowledge on app development. And so the dream did not die. We just left it there for now, temporarily. So when we built the Chat2cars car listing platform eventually in 2018, and then we realized that how then do we compete with our competitors in terms of car listing? Because now we're coming in, and I will cite a very typical example for you. If you buy a car using every other platform app, once you bought a car, you don't keep the app. So there's no before and after service. There's just, I mean, why will you keep a car? Why will you keep the app on your phone when you know that you're not going to use it in the next 5 years again? Now we realize that what then can we do such that we are able to provide before, during, and after service. So before you buy a car, you go on the car listing and say, I'm interested in buying a car, and you compare prices with different dealerships. And once the deal is closed, you need insurance, you need roadside assist, peradventure, you need tracking service, and you need protection around your car. So in all of this are your after service you get. So that way, we then decided what can we offer that our competitors don't have. And then that's when I remember that, oh yes, Daniel, remember, call my plate number. We can then add it extra value to people who are on our platform. And then we then introduced call or chat using car number plate. And I would tell you to be, in my perspective, it is one solution that globally, I think it's a problem solver. It's a necessity for everyone out there. I mean, most of the cars that are stolen are abandoned somewhere, especially if the person doesn't have a tracker. I've seen on Twitter several times where people will say this car looks suspicious and is abandoned here. I imagine if everyone nationally had the app, then you'll be able to call the owner of the car directly to say, I think your car is abandoned somewhere here. And that solves the nightmare. In fact, one happened recently. So I went to drop off someone in Gandhi Square. And the lady right in front of me dropped down. Wrong, she's parked on the loading spot, the yellow light. Then she ran into the shop, and apparently she's not allowed to park there. So Metro towed her car. By the time she came out, she's panicking, she's worried, she doesn't know where or who to call. In her head, the first thing that comes to her mind is car theft. And then one of the car guards then came and told her that Metro towed her car. But imagine if someone could have called her using her car number plate to say, listen, they're about to tow your car. That would have just solved the stress, the nightmare, also the financial implication. So I, for one, believe that we're providing a solution that is needed globally.
That's awesome to hear, and how you are actually infusing the two, you could say, platforms, which is the car listing and the added, value of Chat2cars app to what the car listing actually does, and it sort of puts you apart from your competitors, as you said. But I'm thinking. It must have been quite a challenge to sort of start up. Is everything self-funded? How did you get from, the very inception of a car listing platform to where you are?
Okay. So just like every other tech company, you have to start from where you are,
Mm,
literally. There's nobody will give you money.
yeah.
And if you don't believe in yourself, why should someone else believe in you?
Mm,
Okay. Chat2cars till date is self-funded. And don't get me wrong, I don't have money kept somewhere else to say, okay, we're able to fall back on this finances. No.
yeah.
But one thing that I've learned growing up is that if you believe in it, chase it. The universe will bring help, will bring, and to be honest, I've got the best, amazing support team, you
Mm,
know, in terms of technicality, in terms of suggestions, ideas. Daniel, what can we do to get better? How do we get better? Even if they don't know what we need to do, the fact that you're asking that question on a daily basis
mm,
simply means that it's troubling you. And if that is troubling you, the only thing you can do is to find a solution around it. We
mm,
initially, when we started, just created a website. Like I said,
yeah.
we used WordPress to develop the website. By the time we started getting the kind of traction we're getting on the website, it kept crashing. It was slow. It had all the nightmares. We took
Mm,
it down. We, we scrabbled around finances. We said, okay, we need to develop it with JavaScript. We moved to Java.
mm,
Brilliant, lovely, was working perfectly, but configuration and loading of image became a nightmare, you know. And we decided, okay, no, this is not working. How then do we compete with that? Because our competitors were using top of the tech infrastructures and technology,
mm,
and we know what to do, but we can't afford it. So we decided, okay, you know what? If we're going to do this, it's either we are patient enough to raise the funds and find a way. But every day it was a reminder in my head to say, Daniel, we will find a way. We will find a way. In fact,
mm,
when I have conversations with my friends, the first conversation is, how can we solve this problem? How can we find a way around this? Long story short, we realized that the best technology in the market is Node.js and React. We made up our mind we're going for Node.js and React.
mm.
Financing was no joke. And especially when with developers, you have to pay in dollars because now it's
Mm,
above our tech knowledge.
mm,
And where there's a will, there's a way. So we managed, we found finances, we developed, and the good thing is that Chat2cars, as far as it's self-funded, yes, we are open to possible investors, but it has the potential to sustain itself
mm,
without and grow naturally without investors.
mm.
So whether help comes or it doesn't, it's here to stay. And that's the excitement.
I like the confidence, and I mean it's probably from the data you've seen, since the app has gone live. But I just want to sort of dive into some of its features, and one of them is that you can call somebody from a number plate, right? And I'm
That's true.
thinking this is brilliant on the one hand, but it poses another security aspect on the other hand. How are you guys sort of, balancing between that?
This is one question that I've answered on TikTok, I've answered on Instagram, I've answered on Twitter, I've
Yeah.
answered on radio station, on TV station. And I'm glad you asked it because if you didn't ask it, that means it will immediately incite that you don't care. And
Okay.
oh, we also thought about it. In fact, the first interview I went to, when they asked me that question, I flopped. So I had to go back to the board and say, when this question comes up, how do we handle it? And this is me being vulnerable online.
Okay.
In the process, we decided, no, Daniel, we need to find a way around this because
Mm,
also people are worried about their safety in as much as it provides solution.
mm,
So we decided to go back to the drawing board and find a solution. And guess what? It actually glaring in our face. So we decided to use facial recognition. So before you place a call or before you start the conversation on the new update, that is the new update of the app,
mm,
you have to put in your facial recognition. Yes, the person you're chatting to wouldn't have access to that, but on the server, it captures your face. Now, here's what happens in such situation. No thief wants to put their face on the person they're about to rob.
mm,
That automatically solves that problem. And in that way, also, just like every other social media, the person you're sending a message to or chatting with has the right to block, delete, and not be in contact with you once you've established that conversation. You know. So in terms of security, we've made sure that the facial recognition on the new update is there so that before you before you place a call to the third party,
mm.
and remember it's not a direct call. I forgot to mention. When I call, I don't get to speak to you directly. The system will
Yeah.
ask you what's the sense of this call. So if you say it for, let's say, wrong parking, and then it places the call on your behalf. But
Mm,
before it accepts the call for you, you must put in, it must capture your face to make sure that the essence of the call is legit and also to protect the person
mm.
that's receiving the call. And that's where we have resolved the
Okay, so
security.
you mentioned facial recognition. Does it mean that for me to use the app, initially I have to be onboarded? I have to take, there's an onboarding procedure where I take my picture, I fill in my details for me to be able to use it, so that by the time I'm actually calling, it actually recognizes based on an image that it has in store. Or is it that anybody can call who has the app? There's no onboarding procedure, and as long as I have your face, I can call. So how does it work?
The onboarding process is just your biodata page information, your name, your plate number, your car number plate,
Mm,
and your email address. Now, because we want the registration process to be seamless, to be straightforward and easy.
mm,
But before you can then, so if you're going to use the car listing platform and they're asking you to post your facial recognition, even you as a user will be like, this is not
and
user
I mean
friendly.
the people that manage fleets, for them to be able to do that for each and every vehicle that they're going to onboard. So I'm just
So much,
wondering, how are you guys
much
sort of?
admin. All right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but for car listing, for roadside assistant, all of those, you don't need facial recognition.
Okay.
But for you to be able to place a call to the third party, immediately you um, press the plus button on top of the placing a call. It will then immediately open up the camera. And it's not
Mm,
image, it's camera. So that it
okay.
can, send us a feedback to say, now once it's captured, it will then ask you what's the essence of this call. It will give you
Mm,
the options, suspicious activity. It will give you the options. And once you've selected the option the essence of the call, it
mm,
then places the call for you to the other end. And
mm,
both users are encrypted such that you don't have the person's details, the person doesn't
mm,
have your details. It's just the call is then placed. At least you've been communicated to that your attention
mm.
is needed, and then you can then come move the car. And also in that way, solving road rage.
Mm. Yeah, similar to what you find with one of these delivery platforms,
Exactly.
that somebody would be at the gate looking for you. When they
Mm,
call you, it's not necessarily that their number will show. It's they're calling
exactly.
via. Okay, so I get that, and it's very interesting that you thought around the security element. But now now that you guys are a listing platform and you're providing this, is there an opportunity for other, sort of listing companies that are looking at this and saying, hey, I would want to have this as an added benefit. Can I white label this solution for myself? Maybe not call it Chat2cars because there's already a brand called Chat2cars. What sort of partnerships are you willing to get into with this application?
Well, remember, I don't work alone. I've got
Yes, yes.
a whole team that in fact, I'm not actually the face of the company. Yes, I have an entire team that I need to consult with, peradventure a partner or whoever. But we're open to, in fact, when we won the App of the Year with FMB and UJ 2018, we decided, so we got sponsored to Finland and at Slush. I don't know if you've heard of Slush. It's a program in Finland where all the tech companies come together and share ideas and all of that. And we got a lot of investors that were interested us at that time. And offer was very good, but the team declined it. So in as much as I like the offer, if the team members say or feel that no, we're not ready for this, or I mean, we open to suggestions, we open to partnership, but I don't get to make that decision alone. We need to present it to the entire team, and if everyone says yes, we're happy with it, we take it. If they say no, unfortunately, it's not a one-man show.
Okay,
So,
but tell me then, how is your team composition? You did mention that you have developers. How is the structure of the team currently?
Okay, so I've got a team in locally. We all went to the same school together. Okay, we all went to UJ together. Most of us went to UJ. It's the COO. I'm the CEO, the COO, the legal. So remember when I was setting up this team, I could not afford to pay them financially.
Yes.
So the best thing I could do is to say, listen, guys, this is something I want to establish. Unfortunately, I don't have the finances, but I want us to believe in it, bring your skill, bring your service, and let's run together. And I will tell you, it's been an amazing journey. We've had fights, we've had misunderstanding, we've disagreed to agree, but at the end of the day, it's at the interest of the company, and that's the exciting part of it. And the journey just started. We've been getting emails here and there, but also, there are vultures out there, especially with a tech company. We're also being very careful to say who we take on and who we don't take on. So
I like that you mentioned that, and it speaks to the challenges that you mentioned at the very beginning. So would you want to sort of share a bit about some of the challenges that you guys have had throughout this journey?
all right. So where do I start from? I need to put on the challenges of setting up a tech company. This is one part that anytime I think about it, it gets emotional because it's been a journey for me that if I saw it coming, I wouldn't have embarked on this journey. Now, imagine having pulled out a lot of resources to say, yes, this is going to work. In 1 year, we'll start making a lot of money and the excitement. And then you buy a server or you get a server and everything is ready. And you think this amount of money should run the project for the next 1 year. And in 1 month, your developer is telling you, Uncle D, the money is insufficient. At that point in time, it just becomes overwhelming. Like, okay, guys, where will the next funding come from? If in 1 month we're running out of funds and we just started. I remember being in a friend's house that night and I became dizzy automatically. They had to drive me back home in my own car. That was a nightmare. In fact, that was the biggest challenge we had. I slept throughout the night thinking, should we just shamefully accept that we failed, or should we keep going? You know,
Yeah.
when that happened, a friend of mine called me and said, "We will survive. Don't worry." That was the first nightmare we had. And then I woke up on Monday morning. I told myself, "I'm going to the office, and we are doing this." And I'm happy we did not give up. I'm truly, truly happy and grateful we did not give up. Yes, it's not been an easy journey. And then disappointment, your disappointment. You
Yeah.
think you've made it. You think you've made it. You get investors that will come, or people with skills or approach. I'll say, no, let's do this. This is going to happen. This is the strategy. And we're going to put in this amount of money. And you're like, finally, God, thank you. You even go to church and give testimony. And then you ready, everything is in place. And then a few days after, you're like, okay, so what's guys, what's going on? And they're like, no, Daniel, the finances are not coming forth. We have a little bit of delay. And you sign an MOU. And you're like, guys, didn't you do your homework before even approaching us? Like, what? But my consoling part is that even with or without me, and that's what I tell all my team members, with or without me, the platform is here to stay. I cannot even, I don't want it to close down. I cannot close it down. But it's here to stay, and it's going to happen with or without me, with or without anybody, with or without finances. And yes, we need finances to keep it running, to keep growing, to keep marketing. But just like there was a time I was very discouraged, and I approached one of my mentors and I'm like, we're not gotten able. This training, it's tiring. And he said, Daniel, how old are you? And I told him. And he said, how old are you in the business, in this particular business?
Yeah.
And I said, well, less than 5 years. And he said, you are still pregnant. You're not even born yet. That was
So you should
discouraging
be
because
patient with yourself. Yeah.
exactly. He said, this is incubation process. You are still in the stomach. They've not even given birth to you. You want to run. So relax. And I'm like, so in the pregnancy stage, who will fund us? Who will support us? He said, well, just like every other platform, find a way. And we're still here, and we will be here for a very long time. And I'm happy, and I'm going to put this up on record to say that when we have this conversation in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time, we will laugh about it to say, Daniel, are you still having the same challenges? And I'm sure by then
It will be
everything
different.
will.
But I'm glad you touched on sort of, in 3 years and 4 years and 5 years, we'll be having a different conversation now. What features are in the pipeline, or what are you guys looking to introduce onto the platform in the not so distant future? What can people
All right.
expect? Yeah.
So in a few months ago, no, not a few months ago, 2 months, 1 month ago, we found a strategy that will make us the biggest platform in South Africa. Unfortunately, I can't share it now. Okay.
Okay.
But we found a strategy that will make us the biggest platform in fact, in Africa. So we're currently working on it. So in the next 3 months, we'll have the biggest platform in Africa, right? If you have the biggest platform in Africa and people are talking about it and tweeting about it and chatting about it, do you still need an investor? I mean, I know you're an entrepreneur. You have this. If you have the biggest platform all over, automatically you then know that, okay, if dealerships are selling and people are requesting for roadside assist, which by the way, the call out is free. Okay. And we've got a package that you can then do a subscription based for the car listing on a monthly basis, a subscription on the roadside assist on a monthly basis. Okay. So if that is put in place, our 2 years, 3 years plan strategically is that we want to provide a solution that no other platform provides. And at the same time, we are giving it back to the community for free in terms of the solving security issues and all of that. So what we pivoted is that in the next 3 to 2 years' time, will be the brand that everyone knows when it comes to cars. So whether you're looking for insurance, you're looking for tracker, you're looking for roadside assist, you're looking for everything cars. So we'll probably be providing a one-stop shop for everything car related.
That is yeah, no, that is a very positive outlook in terms of where you anticipate the business to go. I like that that you are even giving a timeline to it. So we'll definitely be looking out as the developments come, as the platform grows.
Even for me, I'm looking forward to that time because I'm tired of this stage.
Yeah, no, like you need to bet on yourself. Like you said at the very beginning, if you don't, believe in your product and you're not, backing yourself, and you're not having this positive outlook, who's going to be the one person that is going to have that for you? You have to believe in it. And I trust that you can possibly be that platform in Africa. And all the best with that. But one of my final questions is something that you mentioned around you having a mentor. How has that played a role in your entrepreneurial journey?
So with regards to mentorship, I've had amazing support system from church, from friends, from my team members. Oh, there's nothing as brilliant or as encouraging as having team members that when you call, they jump. For example, the legal department, the CEO, even the tech guys, the graphic designers, these are people who have their Monday to Friday job, because at the moment no one is being paid at Chat2cars apart from the marketers. We in the management department, everybody is doing it, as a voluntary work. But when I say the law, I need this. When I say CEO, you need to move. When I say everybody is hands-on, they committed, and that's very encouraging for me, you know. And we're all young, we active, we excited about it, and we all believe in the same dream. In fact, the first time I spoke to the CEO about it, and it's like, wow, this. When UJ then, we're still and it's like, yeah, this has to happen. He started writing, who are we going to call, who the investors to pitch. But I mean, this was in 2010. 2010. We had the idea, call my plate number. But now, fast forward to 2023, that's wow, we are old. I'm just realizing, you
Yeah.
we're in the same journey and we still have the same amount of energy and excitement. That's simply, for me, shows that we are in this for a long, long time. But I've had the best team, the best support system, the best tech. Oh, my tech guys are good. I can't afford not to talk about them every time. We fight a lot. Oh, you have no idea. The fight that goes behind the scene is crazy. But I wouldn't trade it for any other developer and the good thing with my in-house tech team, they're family members. And they're younger than me. So if you do anyhow, I finish you.
No, that's very good. Like they often say don't do business with family, but it seems like you guys have managed to strike that balance really well. Even though there's fights behind the scenes, I'm hoping it's constructive as we are seeing the fruits come to bear. So, what would you sort of say if somebody, is looking up to what Chat2cars is doing and is hearing, about this story, from inception to now, and is looking to go into entrepreneurship, what would your advice be to them? Because obviously there's a lot of challenges along the way. But like you're saying, you anticipate you guys going into the rest of Africa in not so long. Looking at that as like the big prize to say, okay, um, I'm motivated to do this because Daniel, look where Daniel is. What would you say to that person that's only starting out and is looking up to you guys?
All right, like I stated previously, if I had known or experienced that the challenges that I experience now, if I had foreseen the challenges that we had experienced in this process, I wouldn't have done it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I had seen that, okay, Daniel, in how old is Chat2cars? In 6 years' time, this will still be the challenges you'll be having. These are the fights you're going to experience. These are the disappointments you go through. I don't think I would have done it. I'm not sure. But because of where the vision is, because of where my mindset is, because of the goal, the anticipation, the plan, the strategies, because I've seen the end from the beginning. Like I've seen that, okay, Chat2cars has the potential to create this amount of job um, nationally, globally. It has the potential to provide this amount of solution. It has the potential to cater for not just me, but family members. I will tell you, it depends on, I'll cite a typical example, and I'm sorry I'm deviating a little bit from the topic, but I'll come back to it. You do not, if you believe in it, whether the whole world agrees or disagrees with it, chase it. I've seen that, before we upgraded to the facial recognition team, we knew about this problem. A friend of mine pitched it to me a long time ago and said, well, won't people be hijacked? Won't people? That was very discouraging. But I'm like, you know what? Let's create it first. We will find a way. People will discourage you. That's a given. In fact, if you're running a project and no one discourages you or does tend not to believe in it, then that project is not worth it. People will tell you, listen, this thing, will it even make money? How do you see it? Who's going to sign you? Where will you get the funding from? Everything will literally discourage you. But the question is, do you as an individual believe in your own product? Will you buy your own product? For example, when we started the tracker, I asked myself the sincere, honest question is, will I use my tracker? And if I use it, will I recommend it for someone? And if the people within your circle don't believe in it, and that is a given. There's a possibility that even your closest friend might not believe in it. That's very discouraging. And that's where some people, 2 years after, pack up. And there's a famous saying that says, don't quit. No, not don't quit. I can't really remember how they put it, but rest when you're tired, but keep going. Things will happen in between that will get you to say, but this thing, is it worth running after it? Is it worth going for it? But the question boils down to, do you as an individual believe in what you're doing? And even if, here's a sincere question to ask is, even if it does not make money, even if it does not raise funds, even if it does not sustain itself, are you willing to finance it? Are you willing to back it up because you believe in it? And that's my advice to anyone who's starting an entrepreneurial journey, to say, do I believe in this product? Even if it does not make money now, can I sustain it? Can I take my salary and pay for the domain? Can I take my salary and pay for in the next 2 years, 1 year, 3 months, 4 months? And here's the irony of the whole thing with being an entrepreneur is that you don't know when it will happen. You don't know when your change will come. So the painful part, in fact, I had to ask myself that question. The question was, when will Chat2cars become Chat2cars? You get what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Get there. Unfortunately, no, I don't know. No one knows. But it takes a trigger, and it's just to keep chipping it. It might be in the next 1 month, it might be in the next 3 months, it might be in the next 2 years, it might even be in the next decade. But the question is, why are you doing it? And if you can answer the question why you're doing it. For me, why I'm doing Chat2cars is because, have you ever been stranded on the highway?
Yeah, I have.
You know the nightmare of not knowing who to call.
Yeah. And you get these roadside assistant guys that are just, looking to tow your car, get it
exactly.
to, and you know the
And
cost implications
storage.
of that. Yeah.
Trust me, I've been in that shoe. So I went for a friend's wedding, and my car packed me up. And thank God I was alone. In the middle of the night, on my way back at 12 o'clock. I mean, imagine this scenario, having to pull your suit, pull your shoes, and run because you don't know where else to go. And you request, and no one is coming.
Mm.
I mean, I'm looking at 12 o'clock in the night. Now, I've had that, maybe that was part of the passions to say, no, no one deserves to go through this process. No one deserves to go through this inconvenience, And at the same time, providing jobs. I mean, we're all crying and shouting that there are no job opportunities. But someone out there probably could come to your aid and make some money. And so it's two ends coming together to provide a solution and meeting each other halfway. And
There's something you mentioned around the tracking device, right? Or
yes,
the tracker itself. Do you guys
yes.
produce those yourselves?
Okay, so we do the programming here,
Okay.
but the device is manufactured in China. But the programming and the networking, all of those. But I recently went into partnership with Vodacom because we needed a SIM card that it's called M2M, machine to machine. We needed a SIM card that two things cannot be compromised in terms of network. We can't have stories around it. We needed 100% accuracy in terms of GPS mapping and location. So as a result, we needed a strong network that can say, listen, guys, we'll put our name behind you to say this is what we're offering. And yes, so the device is manufactured in China. The programming is done locally. And yeah, the installation is done locally also. Yes.
That is truly amazing, and so far only Chat2cars gets to use it, or have you gotten other? Or let me put it this way: insurance companies are looking to sort of insure cars that are that have tracking devices on them. Part of you not having a tracking device will void your insurance. So are insurance companies working with you guys in terms of this?
Okay, so yes, some insurance companies have been knocking on our doors, but there's a reason. Okay, so remember, there's insurance and there's assurance.
Okay.
Those are two different language, right? A lot of insurance companies have been knocking on our door to say, Daniel, how can we? We're not ready for them yet, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because there's a plan that is coming, which is an assurance. We are not an insurance company. We want to be an assurance company to say that if you have 100% recovery rate, for example, for your car, and you provide things like your warranty, your mechanical, your scratch and dent, your roadside assist, automatically you're an insurance company. So, and making it much more affordable for our clients. If I get an insurance company that knocks on my door today to say, Daniel, we are willing to slash the prices such that people don't have to pay ridiculous amounts for insurance. Remember, I'm from the car industry, so I know how much the minimum insurance goes. Then I can consider it. I think for one, let me be careful. But I think that insurance needs to really look at a lot of things, because we are building a one-stop shop for everything cars. And to be honest with you, I'm doing this to be very much affordable and provides safety and solution for all road users. Not, yes, money is very important to be able to run the business. But remember, we've got a car listing platform that will take care of our expenses and all of those. But we just want to provide solutions. And at the end of it all, we're just asking for, because if you have an app, you want to find out which other service do they offer. What is this app all about? In that way, using our app, you're a potential client for the car dealers on our platform. So you're giving, eventually you will reward the dealership. You're not paying for it, it's free for you. But when you buy a car from the platform, indirectly, you're saying, guys, I'm loyal with you guys. And that's a solution we're building around such that everybody's benefiting from it, whether from the social aspect of it, whether from the roadside aspect of it, or when someone buys a car using the platform. So in terms of insurance, we're looking at establishing a system that is assurance. But with insurance companies, we're still weighing the options. Yes, we have a lot of them knocking on our doors to say, what can we do? How can we partner? And we are very, very careful, considering that we have a 3 years goal and where we want to be in the next 3 years. Unless if we're going to take them now in the next 1 year, we'll tell them, guys, it's been a pleasure meeting you, but this relationship can no longer stand. Yeah. So that's where we are.
And from a roadside assistance perspective, I know you guys don't that's not your core business for you to own the fleet that actually assists. So what type of partnerships do you have there?
Okay, so in fact, I had that meeting yesterday. So we've been able to cover a whole lot of. In fact, I don't know if you've downloaded the app. Please do if you've not.
Yes, I did. You sent me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. You did send me and you asked me to try it out. Yeah.
So if you request for roadside assist, the target, I for one, in the next 1 year, is to make sure that we have an ETA of 5 minutes. The ETA must not be 5 minutes. I don't like waiting when I need help. It's not a very, in fact, in terms of safety, ETA should be 3 minutes. Okay, so I want a situation whereby once I click the button requesting for security or requesting for toll, in the next 5 minutes tops, the truck must be here. So our game plan in the next 1 year, hopefully maximum 2 years, is to have an ETA nationally of 5 minutes. So once you request, I mean, we cannot have all the fleets all over to give an ETA of 3 minutes. In that way, what we're establishing now is partnership with your security companies, partnership with your roadside assist companies that are reliable and will not charge you an arm and a leg. And what we're telling them on our platform is that call out must be free. I don't care to know what brand on.
That's disruption, eh?
You will not come on our app and charge our client for call out. No, call out is free, but they will charge you per kilometer to your destination. And in that way, everybody is happy. Because why are you, I mean, you're seeing my phone number. Why do I have to pay for you to come rescue me? And if I have my way, the first question when I request should be, where are you? We are on our way. We don't want to be hearing, in terms of emergency, you don't want to start negotiating and start asking for pricing. Yes, we know you need for the money, but at the same time, we human.
But I mean, in some instances, I'm stuck. I'm really stuck, and I don't have a spare wheel. For example, I just had a tire burst. I'm stuck on the side of the road. I need roadside assistance. Part of the conversation would be, what is the nature of your problem, right? So that when they do drive to you, if there is, they know exactly what problem they're going to solve.
So if you notice on the app, it already gives you the options to say what to select. So are you looking for a tow truck? Are you looking for a arm response? Are you looking for petrol? Are you looking for tire change? Are you looking for? So it gives you
Yeah.
the options.
Yeah.
So that limits that conversation automatically. That's one. Number two is that it picks up your location and it picks up the driver's location. That limits the question of, so where are you? The only question should be, okay, we are 5 minutes away or we're 10 minutes away. Please sit tight. In fact, part of the things we're trying to put now is to say we're going to be charging. We've not decided on it yet. I hope my partners will forgive me. But we're saying that when the roadside assist come to you, they will charge 11 rand per kilometer to your destination. So you already now have an idea. It's now up to you to calculate, okay, from where I am to where they are dropping the car or where I am for the security to come rescue me is 11 rand per kilometer. It's within reach, it's affordable. You already have a rough estimate.
And
So
that's what I'm
that
saying.
immediately
That's what I'm saying, Daniel, that this is a disruption because, what insurance has done is has actually made prices to be inflated when it comes to those type of services. And now what you guys are doing is saying, this is a fixed rate that you'll charge per kilometer. And it has even gotten to a point where the distance is getting shorter in terms of what you're covered for, because of the exorbitant prices that the roadside assistance, prices are. And what you guys are doing is actually regulating that by saying, use the app, and you'll know beforehand, okay, this is what and the price point is really attractive. I mean, 11 rand per kilometer isn't, you're not really breaking the bank.
and remember, not a lot of people has insurance. So
Yeah.
if your car breaks down and you don't have insurance, what do? You call your friend who's probably in church right now.
Yeah.
and and he's like, okay, I'll be there. And probably you're 3 hours away. So he has to wait for you for like 5 hours to get help. And in that 5 hours, probably he has an interview. He's missed out on a lot of appointments. I honestly don't think that's fair. So we want to cater for everyone, whether you have insurance, whether you don't have insurance. We're saying use the app. First, the target is to provide jobs for our roadside assist by telling people download the app, use it. It's a necessity, it's a must-have for your car and for possibilities. That's one. Number two, we're creating job opportunities for the roadside assist people. I mean, some of them probably are parked somewhere now saying there's no job. And someone is stuck somewhere saying, I wish I could get help. So we're trying to bring both parties together to say, we have a solution for both of you, in that way. And insurance has dominated the industry for so long that nobody has ever challenged it. We are coming in as the new kid on block to say, listen, we found a niche in the market. In fact, part of the package, that's why I mentioned the assurance thing, is that part of the package we'll be offering later on, we're just trying to work around it in 2 weeks' time, is to say, if you have our assurance package, that means we are then offering you a 250 rand per month to cover your roadside assist, your tire change, your petrol, we're still working around it, even up to your mechanical warranty. So if you're paying 250 rand per month, it covers so you don't have to pay for roadside assist anymore. Whenever they tow you, it becomes our responsibility. Whenever you get a puncture, you are our responsibility. And that's why I was introducing the assurance to say we're not too keen on assurance, but we are looking at assurance.
No, that is absolutely amazing. And I think the last bit now that I'm interested in is the armed response, right? There's SAPS, there's a lot of security companies that are available. How are you partnering with them?
All right. So the SAPS, SAPS call out is free. You just call an SAPS.
Yeah.
The question is, how long do they take to respond?
Exactly.
So yes, I'm sure we've added some of the SAPS call out line on the armed response. But if I'm endangered right now, right, and I had a talk with some of the security companies that were bringing up board, and I keep emphasizing it. ETA call out is free. So you don't have to, even if you're not a member of that security company, you get me? They must respond first. Because if you're in danger, you're in danger. You don't want to be talking how much are you paying when you are in danger.
Yeah.
So if you request for armed response, there's an armed response team, for example, in your area that their office is in your neighborhood. So if they're coming to, if that will be the service they will be giving to their community for free, to just be present to calm down the situation, because that's the essence of the app, is to provide security and comfort and convenience. So if a security company is in your area and the ETA is 5 minutes, they're expected to respond before the SAPS eventually then come into the scene. You get. But if they have to then move you out of that environment or dilute the situation or get involved, then eventually they will send you an invoice to say, we transported you at from this location to this location, and it's going to cost you 11 rand per kilometer. In that way, you can see it's fair, because you already have an idea that, okay, this is how much they will charge me if they have to move me. You already know that they came out to calm the situation for you. In that way, solving the problem, Then eventually, if it then escalates, you can then involve the SAPS, which is the legal, but at least the security to just say, okay, guys, calm down.
And this
if
this
not,
the security is not just pertaining to a vehicle. Myself, having the app,
exactly, even
it goes beyond
yes,
just the security of
beyond,
cars.
yeah, secure. In fact, part of the game plan,
Mm,
part of the reason why the app is part of it's providing the services providing, is to say, if you see a car that is just hijacked now,
mm,
just press on the app to say, in this area, um, a crime just happened, or someone just it doesn't have to be you or related to you, but in the
mm,
spirit of Ubuntu, solving the community problem, to say
mm,
someone just got hijacked, and report it on the app.
mm,
Now the app picks up your location. The closest security around there should respond. They don't have to engage, but at least let their presence before the issue escalates. If,
mm,
for example, in the process of the hijack, a security company shows up and is armed,
mm,
it might delay the process, you understand, while
mm,
SAPS is coming to solve the problem. And that's what we felt that is a necessity for the community as a whole. And on TikTok, sorry, I'm going to point this out. On TikTok, someone commented something very interesting, and I want to mention it. The
mm.
guy said, some ladies, and I'm not generalizing, some ladies don't want to date guys that don't drive. And someone said, this will help us find our type. And I knew where he was going. Now, for ladies, for example, I've answered this question on radio interview. For ladies, and you, instead of asking a guy saying, uh, so do you drive? I'm just saying, or even for a guy asking a lady
Mm,
saying, so do you drive? All you now need to do is, let's chat using your car number plate. That's just a hint. You don't have to ask the question directly. And then
mm.
if the guy says, I don't have a number plate, that should give you an idea of the direction.
Yeah, no, that's that's. I think I had one of those questions on one of your radio interviews to say, I see somebody rolling with a G wagon. I'm interested. I can
Exactly.
just, yeah. But I'm guessing you spoke to how that would be prohibited if it was malicious,
Exactly.
via the
And,
via.
and personally speaking, it's part of my prayer that one day someone can say, I met my partner on Chat2cars. I would be happy to hear such testimony.
So is it a feature that we are expecting soon? A dating.
it's not a dating app, don't get me.
No.
But
I completely get you.
I've seen a situation where you use, what's his name? Um, okay, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention his name. Casper the Best recently tweeted that he wished he had met someone. He saw the guy driving a similar car and wanted to take the person's number, and unfortunately the person drove off and he had to drive off. These are two guys that just wanted to connect. But imagine where if both of them had the app, he could have then said, "Hey, you just drove past me now, and can we connect?" And that could have established possible networking, possible business meetings, possible a lot of opportunities, around that. Yes, the other person has the right to then say, no, I want to block this conversation or I want to delete it. And you can even report, But we have seen possibilities of networking, communication. There's limitless opportunities in this communication bridge. There was something happened recently. I was in Maboneng and with a few friends, and someone's headlight was being pulled out in front of me. I was not armed, so I can't get into that environment. Yeah. But imagine if I could have requested for armed response there. They could have, intercepted the process. And in the process of them intercepting it or stopping it, I would then call or chat to the owner of the car to say, listen, please, I think your attention is needed next to your car. So you can see that the possibilities are limitless. It doesn't.
But here's another possibility that I wanted to sort of engage you on, is that obviously there is data around locations of where these incidents happen. We sort of get markings on the road that say this is a hotspot for hijacking. This is that type of data. What are you looking to do with it? Are you looking to share it with authorities? Are you looking what sort of ideas do you have around it?
Insurance companies already, if you have your basic normal tracker, when you get into some certain areas, they send you a message or a warning to say you are now approaching those data. We don't mind sharing them with the authorities, but at the same time, it's not providing that needed solution that you need at that point in time. I mean, if you're being hijacked and you've been warned that this environment is high risk or whatever, yes, you're already there when you got the message and it's happening to you. It's not providing a solution. Yes, you've been warned at this area, but if it's a place you needed to go, yes, you're at a higher alert. Sharing those data with pleasure. But what are we doing to solve that problem? Warning is not enough. But do we want that environment permanently then to be recognized as a danger zone? No, it needs to be solved. Why are we not putting security companies there? Why are we not, making it a hotspot for the police to always be on the lookout in that environment? So we're not just taking the initiative only of providing the data, but we're providing the solution to say, even if you are there and it's happening, then somebody can report it, or you can report it, or anyone can just help out. And at the same time, bringing out the spirit of Ubuntu in terms of community to say, guys, let's look out for one another. Let's support one another. Let's encourage one another. People are not that bad. It's just that the crime rate is not so high that everybody is now conscious. I mean, I've seen, there was a day I was driving on the highway and I saw an elderly person. And part of me was like, Daniel, stop and give this lady a bit. But you don't know what's after that,
Yeah.
So now, if people are stranded, nobody comes to help. I mean, I've had flat tire on the highway. I've been packed up by a car, and nobody stops. Nobody, even you, wouldn't stop for me.
Yeah, because you never know whether it's a safe thing to do or not. Yeah.
So what are we doing to provide that solution now? What are we doing? If in the community, a tow van less than with an ET of 5 minutes can then solve my problem, that automatically solves the problem for the community. So this is not just for me, this is not just for me and my friends, but I want us to provide a solution as a community to help ourselves and proudly our own product. To say, guys, no, we have a problem at hand. What are we doing to solve it? And I'm being very sincere at this point in time to say, we are even open to suggestions around the app to say, Daniel, why don't we add this or remove this or take this in, such that it's meeting everybody's need at the same time, providing security, providing safety, comfort, and convenience and affordability. Because not everyone can afford insurance, and this is true. Not everyone can afford it. In as much as you're saying the person should plan wisely, manage your finances, but having a car is a necessity, it's not a luxury. And now you're telling me to have more things because I have a car. I partly disagree. So how then do we provide the service that everybody is benefiting and encouraged to use, and also it's affordable?
Yeah, I think in a nutshell, I've learned quite a bit about the platform and area of issues it's trying to solve. It's not just about calling a number plate, but it's that suite of services, that actually make it stand out collectively. So I am really fascinated about the app, and I'm really, sort of keen to see the growth and its potential in the coming months and years. And hopefully, as you progress and as there are more features that come out, you would be happy to share them with us on matlazana.com. I was happy to have this conversation with you, and thank you for honoring the interview as well. I enjoyed the conversation really a lot, and hopefully we'll have a part two to this once you are ready to let us know about some of the growth that you guys have experienced. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you so much. You guys are doing an exceptional work, encouraging us that are startups. It's encouraging. Thank you. And I'll say this from a brother to another. We need to bring the change we want to see. And thank you once more.